Hey everybody, welcome to Tales from the Tavern, episode 2, with our special guest, Tim Jennings. Tim, how are you doing?
I'm so happy to be here on the Halloween episode.
Is the
wanted
Halloween
to be
episode.
on a Halloween episode of anything forever.
Well, hey man, this is your chance.
I'm gonna fuck it up.
No, you're not.
I
No,
just
you are.
realized that I'm gonna fuck it up.
No way. No way. This is your forte.
Okay.
Right?
All right. Yeah.
You're a
no.
Halloween master.
Yeah. This is gonna be okay. This is gonna
Big
be okay.
Halloween fan.
I'm a huge Halloween fan. I'm about Halloween fever right now, real bad.
Oh, it's been going pretty well for me. I feel like I've experienced enough Halloween stuff already.
You feel like you have?
Yeah, I watched
There's
I watched a
we only
few
have
horror
week
movies.
left.
Yeah, we do only have a week left, but I watched like Halloween 3 for the first time.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved
the first time?
it. Yeah.
Oh man, I feel like I have to tell you something, but I'm not sure if you want to get into it right now.
Throw it at me.
Okay, so I went to Halloween Horror Nights here in Los Angeles.
That's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
and they have a house there, a Halloween house, which is really great. It's based on the Halloween. I think like all the Halloween movies. And we were in line for it. They were playing the Silver Shamrock jingle.
Yeah.
And we were speculating. We're like, do you think they're gonna have like an Easter egg in here for Halloween 3? Because the whole house was Michael Myers themed. But we're like, maybe they'll have a Halloween 3 something in here. I hope they do. Well, keep your eyes open.
Well, because it's only recently come into being a cult favorite of the series, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's
This
like a new
year.
There's like a new appreciation for it.
I would say this year is a renaissance for Halloween 3.
I was walking down the street after I saw Halloween 3, and a dude was wearing a Halloween 3 shirt.
I was hoping you were going to say, dude was wearing a Halloween 3 mask, and then a TV went on in front of him, and crickets started crawling out
Oh
of his
my
head.
God. Spoiler alert, guys. If you haven't seen Halloween 3, do yourself the favor, sit down and watch that crazy, crazy movie.
Yeah, it's really something. I understand why it's a cult hit.
Uh-huh.
And I am myself a fan of it, but I've seen people saying they think it's the best Halloween movie, and I'm like, that's kind of nuts.
Well, that's a crazy thing to say because the first Halloween movie really set the standard for that kind of genre, right? It gave birth to the whole slasher,
exactly.
right?
There's no way that it's better than the original movie.
But you were at Universal
Yes.
Halloween Horror Nights, right? So
Yes.
you're in line for the Halloween house.
We finally get inside. It's great, by the way. It's equal parts scary and hilarious because all of the actors playing Michael Myers are of different sizes. So there's like real skinny Michael Myers that come popping out. There's a couple fat ones. Like they really didn't do any sort of quality control.
It was like ice hockky for Nintendo.
It was just like ice hockey for Nintendo.
So you're going in.
So we go in, and you're walking through a house, basically a house set, and Michael Myers is popping out, and then we got into this kitchen area, and we see coming at us out of the corner a little person wearing the witch mask from Halloween 3. And we stopped and we just started applauding this character, whoever they were. And they didn't really know what to do. So then they just stopped trying to scare us and just started nodding and giving us thumbs up. We were like, all right. But then from behind us, another little person in the skeleton mask came running up and shook a can of coins at me and scared the crap out of me. It was pretty great.
That's awesome that he shook a can of coins at you. Did you call him a scaracter?
Yes, character.
Okay, that's what they're called
That's
there?
what they are. That's the job. And I know that because I was one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In 2007, I worked at Universal Halloween Horror Nights as a character.
What was your scaracter?
I was a clown. I was part of a group of clowns.
Okay.
Because the icon character that year was this character Jack, who is like a scary clown. He's just like a crazy clown. He's kind of like Jack Nicholson's Joker a little bit, but like
crazy clown. Say no more, man.
So he was the main character, and we were like his clown posse, his insane clown posse.
Were you like hype clown when like he murdered dudes? You went all out.
I would off when he murdered people. But we all had chainsaws.
Oh, okay.
And this really gruesome clown prosthetic makeup, and it was super fun. But I would probably never again in my life do it because it was so grueling. It was really physically taxing.
Oh.
Running around all night with your face covered in a prosthetic mask and carrying a chainsaw. It was a full motor, full of gasoline, real chainsaw, just without the chain on it.
Those things are heavy.
Yeah, they're heavy. And just running around breathing in that mask. It probably didn't help that I was a smoker at the time, too. But every night I'd get home from there and I was beat up and just beat and tired as shit constantly. So it was a fun job, and it's cool now to be able to be like, oh yeah, I did that weird job. But it was, at the time, it busted me up pretty good.
That was not your first performance job like that. You worked at the Jungle Cruise, didn't you?
No, I didn't, but I worked at Disney World.
Did you work Jungle Cruise at Disney World, right?
No, I didn't. I worked on something called The Land, which if anybody who's ever been to Epcot has probably been to The Land. It's a boat ride that goes through greenhouses. And I stood on the end of the boat and talked about agriculture, basically.
Okay.
When I found out that was my assignment, it was a real bummer. I actually made a joke to my brother when we were driving down to Florida and moved there that I was like, watch, I bet I'll get that boat ride in The Land. And that is exactly what I fucking got. I couldn't believe it.
How long did you have to do that?
Oh, I only worked there about 6 months. It was their college program. So
6 months is a long period of time.
I guess, yeah, half a year.
To have to talk about nature.
Yeah. I mean, it was ultimately it was fun, but like I wanted to get somewhere. I wanted to work at the Haunted Mansion or at the Jungle Cruise, like somewhere where you get to kind of have fun and it's like, people are going there not expecting to learn about agriculture, but like
to have fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kids are on that ride going to learn about agriculture and they're not having fun.
They're not having a good time. Do you know the best crowds were? Brazilian tourists, because they would bring their own tour guides and who spoke Portuguese. And so I would just stand on the boat and then the Portuguese tour guide would do the whole tour. I don't know what he was saying. I don't know if the facts he was relating were accurate, but he seemed to know what he was talking about. But then without exception, at the end of the tour, they would point over at me, say something, and I would get a round of applause. And it's only occurred to me now, years later, that he might have been fucking busting ass on me and I didn't realize
No way. He was probably like, props to my driver, my captain. And you were like, hey man, somehow you did this whole job. Props to you, tourist guide. But hey, enough about tourism, man.
About tourism.
We got prompts here. Very Halloween prompts.
Yeah, really good Halloween prompts.
Blood packs and night watchmen.
Oh my God!
Well, who knows what could happen on a Night's Watch?
I'm getting the creeps just thinking about that.
Speaking of the creeps, man, favorite Halloween costume you ever got to dress up as?
Oh man, my favorite.
You could do kid and adult.
Okay, my favorite Halloween costume from when I was a kid. I always had really good Halloween costumes as a kid. My favorite one that I ever had was when I got to be a Ghostbuster when the Ghostbuster movie came out, and this is before you could go and buy any costume you want that looks like the real costume in the store. Mm-hmm. Like back then, it was all basically a plastic bib you tied around your neck, and then a flimsy plastic mask, and that was it.
Yeah, well, the bib had like a better illustration of what you were supposed to be on it,
and
right?
Sometimes it would just say it. Like if you were Superman, it would say Superman across the front of it. But I was a Ghostbuster, and my parents and I made the costume, and like my aunt even like made a Ghostbusters insignia out of felt.
Oh.
I had my backpack and I put a box in it to make it real square, and then ran a telephone cord from my backpack into this thing I had called the Sound Blaster, which is this like let's be honest, I didn't really look like a Ghostbuster, but I felt like one.
You were probably a pretty good Ghostbuster costume during that time, right?
Yeah, for the time, and everybody thought it was really cool that I was. I actually won the school's costume contest that year for my Ghostbusters costume. So that was
nice.
That's my favorite. What about you?
My mom made all of our costumes, and you got to graduate every year because like they were hand-me-downs.
Oh.
So like I think the first year you were a bunny, and then the second year, no, you were a tiger, and then a bunny, and then you were Robin, and then you were Batman, and then after that it was free reign. But I think I got to be the bunny. And then my mom became a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, man.
Didn't even get to be Robin. I wore that Robin costume.
Tiger and bunny.
You got the tiger and bunny in, but the Robin I did not get. But I ran around the house in that costume a lot, that Robin and Batman costume.
Yeah.
Good times. But as an adult, I once dressed up as Mark Twain because I found
that's so good.
I found a wig set online that looked really funny to me, so I just went with it.
Where'd you get the suit?
The suit, I just kind of put it together. It's just like kind of like a dress coat, and slacks.
Mark Twain is a great. I kind of want to do that this year.
Yeah, man, it's fun to dress up as just historical people.
You know what I like to do with costumes like that? You take the historical figure and then theme it. You like theme it a little bit off, like Mark Twain, but he's just come back from somehow going to the future.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or Mark Twain, caveman Mark Twain.
Caveman Mark Twain. I'm into Caveman Ben Franklin. I like even more.
Caveman Ben Franklin.
With his with a little key tied to his club.
But the key is made out of a bone.
Yeah, it's a bone.
And
yeah.
it doesn't conduct electricity.
No, and he doesn't really look like Ben Franklin. But Tim, you work at the Soup, don't you?
I do. I work on the Soup's web team.
And you also do a show called The Lusty Horde here in California, in Los Angeles, California.
Yep, I do a show. It's an improvised science fiction and fantasy show. Sometimes we go into a lot of the time we go into horror as well. Because the four of us are my friends Dave, Andy, and Kevin. We're huge fans of all those genres, and we got started doing the show because we love to watch really terrible, like VHS 80s kind of action fantasy sci-fi movies together. And so we were like, well, why don't we do a show where we just make them up? And so that's the gist of the show, is like you're basically going to see a completely improvised, made up, terrible, bad 80s action or sci-fi or fantasy movie.
It's a great time. I've seen it a couple times.
you.
When's your next show?
Actually, it's tomorrow. Well, this is going to be out on Wednesday, so you will have missed it by 2 days.
Oh, no.
We do shows at a theater called the West Side Comedy Theater out here in Los Angeles. It's out in Santa Monica, and we do them there Monday nights at 10 o'clock on the fourth Monday of every month. So
Okay.
Fourth Monday of every month, you can come and see us at the West Side at 10 o'clock, and it's a great show. And usually the crowd there on that night is pretty good, too, so it's a fun time.
They can also find the Lusty Horde online, isn't that right?
lustyhorde.com, and we're also on Twitter and Facebook and all those places, like everybody is.
If you just search the Lusty Horde,
People be on Facebook these days.
you could like that page and have a great time.
You know what? You could like it. You could also, maybe even of more interest, you could follow the Lusty Horde on Twitter, because what I've been doing lately is I've been posting character of the day, and I've been making up original Lusty Horde characters every day, and like just sending out like a little blurb about who they are and what they do, and
I love that.
yeah, it's pretty fun.
What's the handle for Twitter?
It is just, I believe it's just Lusty Horde.
At Lusty Horde.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, hey, man, we're in your realm right
Yes,
now, isn't
Stone's
that right?
realm.
We're in Stone's realm.
Stone's Realm. It's the realm I created, and we've had a few stories from Stone's Realm.
That's
already.
right.
And the tavern in Stone's Realm that we are in right now is a tavern called the Gnarly Goblin.
The Gnarly Goblin.
Yeah.
I love that name.
I chose it because it's...
Well, you didn't choose it. It exists.
I chose us to be here.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
There's a
okay.
lot of taverns
Yeah, we could
in Stone's
have
Realm.
went to anywhere,
Yeah,
right?
but this one I liked this one for us because it's safe, generally
Okay.
speaking. There's a lot of bad things that happen in Stone's Realm. You have to sort of think of it as like, and it's a place where somebody tried to take over and it went wrong for them, and the hero who stopped them, but because of this, it's almost worse than it was, because now it's just chaos. And so anything can happen to you at any moment. Except in the Gnarly Goblin, you basically have it. It's full of sort of like roguish people.
Okay.
So you've got a lot of people you don't know. They could be off to plot something. It could be a warlord. You definitely have like orcs and dark elves in here as well. You know, everybody's packing something. They might have magical powers. They might be, there might be a crossbow or two lying around. But because of this, you're relatively safe, because no one wants to fuck with anybody else that's in there.
That is a pretty wise choice for us to go. I like that we've
yeah.
gone here. You also, though, you don't know if someone is an assassin, though, right? Is this a place where people get assassinated?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I mean,
How many? How
I
often?
didn't want that
how,
to come out.
How often?
Usually,
How often?
one person a night gets assassinated.
Okay, that's not that bad
No,
for
no, one
Stones
person a
Realm.
night's a pretty good ratio.
And for the most part, it's like someone who deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you look at them and you're like, I can see why.
Yeah, you don't get assassinated in Stone's Realm unless you deserved it for some reason. I'm not going to say the reason was a good one.
No.
I mean, you might get murdered for no reason.
That happens pretty often in Orcspire.
You might get kidnapped, turned into a creature, forced to join an army as a conscript for no reason at all, just because you were walking down the street and you're a chicken farmer.
Wow.
But you won't get assassinated for no
Okay.
reason.
Well, that's kind of an adventure.
It's
Concept?
it's always an, you know what, that's a good positive way to look at it. You would do well in Stone's Realm because part of it, you have to stay optimistic in Stone's Realm. Yeah, you have to keep your head up.
Well, I'm excited to revisit that land once more. Why don't you tell us your tale of blood packs and Night Watchmen?
All right, let's get into it.
Let's do this.
All right, Dom. Tonight's tale from the realm of Stone's Realm
Of Stone's Realm.
is called Swordborn the Savage, Fall of the Fall, aka Halloween 3 Part 2,
Oh!
aka Down to the Last Roach.
I love that it's Halloween 3 Part,
Part
2. I don't want to say anymore. You need to get started.
Before I begin, I'd like to speak to you, the listener. Good evening, dear, sweet, innocent listener. Yes, I'm talking directly to you, sitting comfy in your jammies on the couch. Is it weird that I'm imagining you in jammies? Probably. Like, how would I even assume that? Let's be honest, you're probably actually listening to this right now in your car, with a fat-ass spliff in your hand. No doubt you're going to be hotboxing that bitch all the way to your job at GameStop. That's reality, isn't it? But as I said, I'm imagining you in jammies, and you're just going to have to deal with it. That hot chocolate you've made yourself looks delicious, and why not? You've had a busy day doing this, that, and the other. You deserve it. At least that's what you tell yourself, but let's be honest. You're not buying that, and neither am I. You haven't earned shit. But oh, it feels nice to relax, doesn't it? To sit back on the couch or chair, or perhaps lounging in bed, let out a deep sigh and say, "Ah, I did it. The day is done. I haven't a care in the world except my pedal-to-the-metal journey towards diabetes thanks to all the hot chocolate I indulge in." Which you do. Yes, other than that, I haven't a care in the world. But dear sweet listener, we know that's not true, is it? You have at least one care, don't you? One that visits you at night, creeping and clawing its way from the inner recesses of your mind once the lights are out and YouPorn has served its ultimate purpose. It's a cold, dead, awful thing, reeking of dirt, blood, old funeral flowers, and bong water. The Watchman. It's called this because that's what it does. It watches you, sitting there in your room as you make yourself comfortable in the dark, vulnerable under the sheets, watching as you assure yourself that the breathing in the corner is just your imagination. The hairs on the back of your neck are standing on end because you just remembered a cool move you once did on Street Fighter 4. Not because a twisted face with milky, staring eyes is surveying the details of your hair from 6 inches away.
Oh my God.
That you yourself are putting the pillow over your own face in your sleep at night. And the slight pressure of a hand you feel on it as you wake is Nothing more than a trick of the mind. Sort of like when you convinced yourself that being skilled during trivia night at a bar is a real accomplishment. Because why wouldn't it be? And why would something place a pillow on your face as you sleep and press down ever so slightly? Only after you've lied yourself into a peaceful slumber does the watchman turn to its ghoulish proclivities, watching you. The worst part is it doesn't even do it to, get off. I don't even know if this thing has genitals. If any of you know, write in and let Dom know on Twitter or Facebook with the simple message, "The Watchman has genitals." Oh, dear sweet listener, it must be awful to know that each night a staring, drooling, dickless thing stands near your bedside and watches you at your most defenseless. Perhaps it's not the only time, I mean. Even now it may lie in wait. Behind you, at this very moment. Reaching out a hand to brush the back of your neck until you turn around and look into the wide sunken eyes of its grave-rotted face. Yes, that's truly terrible. What a burden to live with. Well, my condolences, dear sweet listener. Why don't I share a tale with you? Something to take your mind off the impending click of the light switch this evening that will send you into darkness and the unyielding vigil of the watchman. Journey with me now, beyond the realms of men, the realms of beasts, and the realms of anthropomorphic fast food items caught in a battle for survival. Yes, food fighters are real in the multiverse of Tales from the Tavern. It's canon. Just north of there, and west of an old covered bridge spray-painted with the tag name Fart Morbius, lies the kingdom of Stone's Realm. A once peaceful realm, Stone's Realm is... You know what? There's actually a lot of backstory. It involves these gems called the Spirit Stones, an evil sorcerer, a magic singing sword, and a guy named Keith, the really solid dude who's dead, but kind of lives on through the realm's greatest hero. So... If you'd like to know more about the rich and kick-ass history of Stone's Realm, check out Fantasy Fiction episodes 34 and 65. If not, snack on these nuts. And yes, I did spell nuts with a Z, right, Dom?
That is right. I can see it right from here.
I really showed him. As usual, things in Stone Realm are sucking incredibly hard, and at the center of it all is our hero, Swordborn the Savage. This powerful and skilled warrior has seen many adventures during his journeys across Stone's Realm, but right now, as he rides over a snowy tree-lined ridge on his polar bear mount, Ice Bitch,
yes,
he has more important things in mind. Namely, eating a shitload of meat, drinking like 65 gallons of goat wine, and finding some dank smoke roots for Ice Bitch because she uses it for her social anxiety. Then, in the distance, Swordborn spots something. A town. He sniffs the air, then jumps down off Ice Bitch and rolls a pinch of soil between his fingers. Fall carnival, says Swordborn. With that, he leapt back onto Ice Bitch's back. Yah, girl, yah! Ice Bitch took off down the mountain like someone trying to get a flat screen for $99 on Black Friday. And by the way, I know it's only Halloween, but if you're going to shop on Black Friday, be careful. No deal is worth losing your life over. Except perhaps the amazing doorbuster deals you'll find this year at Kohl's. Kohl's, the official sponsor of me on Tales from the Tavern.
Kohl's sponsored you?
Yes, I should have told you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Hey, man.
Have you seen the jacket?
Yeah, oh, wow. Yeah, that's a nice jacket. I'm happy for you. I'm happy you got a sponsorship for Stone's Realm Tales.
Thank you. It was a last-minute thing.
Well, hey, man. You got to do you.
5 seconds later, Stormborn and Ice Bitch arrived in town. It was a quaint village, small, snow-covered dwellings with smoke rising out of their chimneys. The streets bustled with people and the smell of delicious food filled the air. Swordborn surveyed the town. This place is nice. No orcs. No mercenaries, no raiders fans. It looks nice. Too nice. Oh, it is nice, a voice next to our hero piped up. Welcome to Terragrin. Swordborn searched for the source of the voice. Hey, Hey, over here, the voice chuckled. Swordborn looked down and saw the face of a jack-o'-lantern staring up at him. Yep,
Whoa.
I'm a fucking pumpkin. The name's Jack-o'-lantern. Swordborn finished his sentence. It's actually Jack Pumpkinman. But it's weird that you guessed my first name, right? You're not from around here. Can I show you around town? Swordborn picked up the talking pumpkin and set him on the front of Ice Bitch's saddle.
This is just ridiculous, but go on.
Somehow, the problems of the rest of the land never seem to reach us here in Terragrin. We've got everything you could ask for here. Plenty of food, goat wine, and smoke root so sticky and icky it'll make your dick fall right off. And guess what? You're just in time for our fall carnival. Is that so? Said Swordborn. Well, no, Jack replied. I mean, your dick won't really fall off, because who'd want to smoke that? Smoke root that would actually make your dick fall off? No thanks. I heard one of the kids who hang out by the armory say it once. Sounded cool to me, so now I say it. Truth be told, Shut up, said Swordborn. All these things you speak of, food, goat wine, and smoke root we need, then rest, then supplies. No problem. Next stop, the Golden Steed. The Golden Steed was a pub at the end of town. It was nice as far as small pubs go. Kind of like when you find a Chili's in a small town and it's like, oh, okay, well, at least we know this is here. Well, I guess this is where I leave you, said Jack sadly. Can we buy you some of whatever the fuck you drink? Swordborn offered. No, replied Jack, but since you offered, there is something you can do for me. Hold me up close to your ear. Swordborn raised the pumpkin to his ear. Just have a good time and enjoy our wonderful town.
Terragrin sounds so sweet.
He wants him to have a good time. He's a nice guy. Okay. We shall, pumpkin friend, replied Swordborn. Swordborn set Jack down, and he and Ice Bitch headed into the Golden Steed. Yes, Ice Bitch was allowed to come right in, because domesticated polar bears can do what they want. No problem, and no questions asked. It's canon, and anyone who says otherwise is a no-good grizzly mount lover.
Whoa, are grizzly mounts bad?
You... amateur.
Whoa, do polar bears not like the grizzlies?
Listen, nobody who rides a grizzly mount is gonna be a good person.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You're talking some dangerous people who ride grizzly mounts. Although, maybe, in a future story, we'll meet someone who rides a grizzly mount and find out that maybe they're not such a bad person after all.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to that tale, but I want to hear what happens here, so.
All right. Inside the Golden Steed looked like any other tavern. People laughed and ate and drank. There were also a lot more jacks inside. That is to say, other talking pumpkins. Some were on tables, some were being held by people, some quietly sipped hot toddies and read by themselves. Swordborn wasted no time in ordering a cask of goat wine, 2 whole racks of dire pig ribs, and some stanky danky for Ice Bitch. Despite the jovial tone of the room, Swordborn couldn't help feeling that something was off. Everything was delicious, and it made Swordborn feel better than he'd felt in a long time. He looked across the room at a mirror and surveyed himself. I'm yoked as shit, he thought to himself. God damn, wow, fuck yeah. I'm also sleepy. Too sleepy. He glanced over at Ice Bitch. She took a puff from a hookah and nodded at Swordborn as if to say, yo, my social anxiety is totally fine right now, bro. Then crashed face first into the table. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Swordborn tentatively removed his magic sword, Get Fucked, from its scabbard and held it in front of him so that the spirit stones in the hilt faced the room. Reveal, said the weakened Stormborn. Suddenly the room changed. There were no people. There were only pumpkins. Oh shit, mumbled the warrior. He attempted to get up from the table, but a strong drug had taken hold in his system. The last noise he heard was his sword hitting the floor, then darkness. Swordborn awoke, tied up. He'd been fastened to a stone slab with rope. No, they were vines. Pumpkin vines. Ice Bitch was on another slab next to him. Looking around, the warrior could see that he was in some sort of temple surrounded by candles and jack-o'-lanterns with mean faces.
Oh, no.
Fuck, declared Swordborn. You guys are evil pumpkins? Shit. Yes, replied Jack coldly. This used to be a rich and thriving town until one day an evil farmer made a blood pact with a pumpkin demon known as Jack. There are pumpkin demons? Asked Swordborn. Yes! And you're all named Jack? Swordborn shot back. Yes, fuck you! Responded Jack. In exchange for his soul, that demon gave the farmer a packet of evil seeds. The farmer planted them in cursed earth and watered them with his own gross pee. And we were born. And the townspeople sacrificed to Jack as you will be, Jack said, raising a vine holding a ceremonial knife. The pumpkin carving kind.
Oh.
You know those ones?
Yeah, they're terrible. They're going to cut you up.
And the thing is, they can't even carve a regular pumpkin.
No. So what's that? How that's going to be
It's
brutal.
all notchy and yeah, it's going to be terrible. The pumpkins began chanting in unison, louder and louder as the knife-wielding vine moved over Swordborn's heart. Jack began to laugh. Then strangely, so did Swordborn. Jack stopped. What's so funny? How many people have you sacrificed like this? Swordborn asked. Well, I don't know. 90? said Jack. 90? That's a lot of weak-ass people, Swordborn said. The next time you pick your sacrifices, make sure they can't do this. Swordborn easily snapped the pumpkin vines from his No! shouted Jack. No! Seize him! More vines wrapped around Swordborn, but he broke those too. You guys are pumpkins, said the warrior. This was a dumb plan. With that, Get Fucked began playing the opening bars of Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
Yeah!
As Swordborn walked around the temple methodically smashing the evil pumpkins. Some tried to escape, but what the fuck are they going to do? They're pumpkins with vine appendages. Swordborn punched his fist through some, punted others against the wall, and even briefly wore one on his head in a mocking fashion. All the pumpkins could do was beg for mercy. Eventually, there was no more begging, just quiet acceptance of their fate. The last pumpkin to go was Jack himself. Swordborn grabbed him as he attempted to get out the door and tore all his vines off. Suck cocks in hell, screamed the pumpkin. No, replied Swordborn. I'm not going to suck cocks there or anywhere else. With that, he slowly squeezed Jack's head. The pumpkin screamed until he caved in. Then just made a mushy gargling sound for like 5 minutes. Then he died. Then birds ate him. Are they evil now? Yeah. But they already were because birds are gross and evil by nature.
True. This is true.
Gross. Swordborn woke up Ice Bitch, who had been calmly snoozing this whole time. She was refreshed and ready to go. So was he, in fact. As they rode out of town, Swordborn tossed some roasted pumpkin seeds in his mouth. Fourth best fall carnival I've ever been to, he said. The end.
Oh, that was a great Halloween tale. And Ice Bitch kind of had a dope nap. Like, she got real stoned,
Took a nap.
got real stoned, assed out, and woke up to some pumpkin seeds.
If you think about it, really.
Wait, whoa! Were the pumpkin seeds evil?
Oh no!
No! What?
No! The birds became evil when they ate them. Oh no!
Well, the birds were already evil.
They were already evil. And by the way, let's be honest, it's a Halloween story, and generally the Halloween episodes of things, they're never really canon.
Well, except for that one that you like. Well, they're not canon, but the one that you enjoy, my old favorite of a Halloween thing, is when it's like, oh, the ghosts weren't real. Let's all go home. And then the camera stays on the spot, and then a ghost shows up, and it's like, I am real. You know? Isn't there an episode that you like of something where that really happened?
There's an episode of Different Strokes where where Arnold and Sam It's from when Ghostbusters came out.
Uh-huh.
Weirdly enough, to go back to Ghostbusters again.
Oh, yeah.
And they go to this old apartment building, which why would the kids go into an abandoned apartment building?
I tried to break into like an abandoned movie theater a few times.
Okay, it happens. And so they go to this old apartment building thinking they're going to find ghosts because they heard it was haunted, and then they really do. And then there's really weird things really start happening. They see a ghost.
Uh-huh.
And then at the end, you find out that, spoiler alert for anybody who's in the middle of Different Strokes season 6 right now, or whatever season it's from. They find out it was a guy who wanted to make people think the apartment was haunted so that no one would buy the building or something like that. I forget why. So they find this out. Everyone leaves, and then as the credits roll, this organ or piano down in the basement where they were starts playing a song, and it's like, wait, is it really haunted?
And I guess it really was, which means that in Different Strokes, ghosts
are
exist,
real.
and that building is haunted.
It's haunted. It's canon in the world of Different Strokes.
Well, hey man, speaking of haunted places, I was going to say, why didn't you take me to the Golden Steed? But now I know why.
You know why.
And hey man, thanks man.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that to you, or myself for that matter.
Yeah.
Although I feel like we could break pumpkin vines kind of as easily as swordboard.
Yeah, there
Maybe
must have been
not.
some weak people. My favorite detail was that he peed on the seeds.
Watered them with his evil farmer pee. Yeah. That's the only way. I mean, you don't know. I know a little bit about agriculture, as we said.
Yeah.
So I know that in order to raise evil seeds, you got to use some gross evil pee.
You got to use, not gross evil pee, evil water, which is what pee is.
Yeah.
It's evil apple juice. All right, Tim, you ready for my tale of blood packs and Night Watchman?
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, all right.
I don't know.
Well,
Okay.
hey, man, I'll just tell the title and you can tell me if you're ready or not.
Okay, all right.
The title is called The Ghost Ship of Captain Bloodbath.
Oh, no, I'm not ready.
All right, we're going. It was a stormy night on the seas of Orkspire, and a pirate ship known as the Eliminator. Also, a ZZ Top album.
Oh, thanks for
And
the
it looks
side.
a lot like that. The car that's on the cover.
Wait, the ship looks like ZZ Top's car?
Yeah, that cool car they're that's also a spaceship. Well, there's a fantasy version in it. It's a ship in the ocean. The Eliminator was determined to push through the weather. On the ship was Captain Machete Bloodbath and his crew of evil pirates. A known terror on the open sea. They were ruthless. They loved to kill. Hell, they fished for sport. Blood sport. They didn't give a goddamn, and they weren't going to anytime soon.
Isn't that sort of the pirate credo in a way?
Don't give a goddamn and
Never do it
don't
anytime
intend on it. Yeah. But on this night, Bloodbath and his crew were on an impossible mission. They were hired by a necromancer to kidnap the Wood Elf King's daughter from other pirates who had already kidnapped her. Whoa. Not to mention that it was hurricane night.
Oh,
the one night a year that hurricanes get to run wild on the open sea with no holds barred. Mother Nature can be a real bee, you know what I'm saying?
The craziest part about that is that the hurricanes, they do adhere to that rule. Like, they wait until hurricane night, then they go balls out.
They'll be like, what are you going as for hurricane night? I'd be like, I'm going as like a real big hurricane. But the plan was just ruthless enough for Bloodbath to accept. The reward was high. One spin on the fun wheel back at the Necromancer's Cove. All the prizes were awesome, and one of them was a PlayStation 2.
Oh.
If they couldn't pull it off, they would be damned, cursed to return from the grave. Bloodbath cut his palm open way too violently and shook hands with the Necromancer, binding their contract in blood. The crew was relentless. Bloodbath slaughtered the other pirates, successfully kidnapped the princess, and was returning back to the Necromancer's Cove. And Bloodbath was feeling lucky.
Oh, no.
But you're right. It was hurricane night, and hurricanes were going buck wild. One big one was coming right for the Eliminator. Bloodbath ordered his men to fire cannonballs at the storm. That just pissed it off.
Oh no, bad plan.
The hurricane ripped apart the Eliminator's sails as the wind lifted the entire boat and crew into the storm. The pirates continued to fire cannonballs into its eye as the hurricane lifted the ship higher and higher. Then it jackknife powerbombed the Eliminator onto a giant rock formation. Bloodbath and his men all died instantly.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't get away from that. No.
The elf princess was blown to safety by a good gust of wind.
Wait, by good do you mean powerful enough or good as in friendly?
Good as friendly. I was like, this one's good. I'll get you right out of there.
Right this way, Your Majesty. Here we go. Thanks.
Back home. By the way, that hurricane's name was Hurricane Skip, and nobody messed with Skip after that shit. Bloodbath and his men were damned not only for the blood pact, but for the evil they reigned on the seas of Orkspire. They were cursed to return from the dead, but they were given the choice of returning as either a skeleton or a ghost, since they were evil. It's a tiny perk, but different folks have their preferences, so it's kind of important.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're evil and you die, you come back.
Yeah.
But since you were evil, you can choose. So
I would like to know the pros and cons of both before choosing, I think is what I would say. But I think I'm saying that because I'm not evil.
Yeah, well,
Evil people, I feel like they're making their decisions just off the cuff.
Yeah, probably in anger.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say ghost.
Yeah, I'm going to say ghost too. I don't want to be skeleton.
I want to fly.
Yeah, I don't want to be skeleton.
I don't want to be bound to the ground. Get out of here. And it is said, once every Halloween, the Eliminator rises from the ocean to terrorize the sea for another night, said Ulag the Orc, a deckhand on the Daddy Wagon, an orc privateer ship. And tonight is the anniversary of that night, he continued. The first anniversary. And I know there's been no reports, but this sounds like some OG ghost shit. And I think we should be careful.
It's rare that you get a fresh ghost story like that. 1 year ago.
1 year ago, he's like, look, I think we should maybe...
the first night.
I mean, I would probably maybe dock for the evening.
Yeah. No precedent set. You're just taking your life in your own hands.
And you are doing this to yourself. Captain Bloodbath is totally a made-up name, said Slurred, the first mate, trying to finish his last duty before joining the rest of the crew and the captain in his quarters. You see, it was also the anniversary of Captain Grok's birthday, and that was being celebrated with a live performance by the captain's jam band, the Minstrel Dudes.
Oh, a jam band. That sucks. But he's the captain and it's his birthday.
Well, you gotta go. Yeah, of course, replied Ulag. All great pirates go by pseudonyms. His real name is probably Herschel or something. Damn it, Ulag, yelled the first mate. You're always whining about something. Don't smoke near the black powder. Stop trying to kiss the sharks. And now, look out for ghosts and skeletons on a ghost ship upon the first anniversary of the night they perished. Enough already. Just shut up. Now get in the crow's nest and take the night shift before I swab your ass.
Oh.
Ulag was still fairly new to the nautical life, so he wasn't really sure what kind of threat swabbing someone's ass implied. Regardless, he climbed up to the barrel for his shift as the first mate joined the celebration. Most sea folk don't mind the night shift because the crow's nest was the hot J.O. spot back in boat days.
It totally is, because no one can see you up there.
Be like,
that's the only reason.
Oh, no, yeah, I'll take the night shift, no problem. I'm gonna jerk off crazy 17 times.
Oh, my God.
It must have been gross up there.
So gross. And by the way, don't stand below the crow's nest.
Oh, don't sleepwalk on deck when the crow's nest
I think
is bumping.
I really feel like you landed on a historical truth with that.
I looked this up historically. They were makeshift barrels and stuff. Like the crow's nest was not something that was like designed. It was just kind of put together.
They just did it.
So just imagine if that is a true thing that happened. It's just a grossy, jizzy barrel up there.
By the way, the gross jizzy barrel, the worst barrel to land in Donkey Kong Country.
It is the one with the skull on it, by the way.
Automatic death.
You're done. Ulag scanned the horizon all night, keeping his eyes peeled for any type of paranormal activity. He thought he saw a haunted clam terrorizing a shark, but that really didn't pertain to him and his crew. So he focused on the horizon, watching deep into the night. It was getting to be around 3 a.m. when Ulag grew bored and his mind began to wander. He wondered what he would do if they really came upon the ghost ship of Captain Bloodbath. He'd probably chop a skeleton's head off and grab another skeleton and throw him into a ghost. Then they would respect me, thought Ulag, and they'd listen when I talk about ghosts from here on out. I'd be like a ghost expert, and maybe even Shad Zay back home would kiss me. Ulag's heart fluttered at the thought of being kissed by the beautiful Shad Zay, but his heart quickly sank as he spotted a disturbance in the water. The sea bubbled and rumbled as a cold blue ship emerged from its depths. Ulag stared mesmerized. He was for certain that this was the Eliminator, but where was its crew? A ghastly laugh boomed from the ship. Its chill shook Ulag, snapping him out of his trance. The Eliminator's gun ports began to overflow with blood, staining the sea a deep red. The ghastly laugh echoed throughout the night. The orc rang the crow's bell and shouted, "Frickin' ghosts!" Meanwhile, Captain Gruck and his jam band were on the 28th minute of their third song.
Fuck those guys. Oh, my God. They deserve whatever they get.
I'm not gonna lie, some people were legitimately into it, and that's okay.
Yeah,
That's all right.
Some people always are. Oh, God.
Considering that most of the crew was smoking, drinking, and making out to the music, so it didn't really matter. But the bell began to throw off Captain Gruck's groove. Whoa, 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 he said, stopping the band. Who's playing that damn bell? The crew quickly realized what it was and ran up to deck, just in time for the chaos to begin.
Oh, God.
Skeletons and ghosts had already begun to board the daddy wagon. Bloodbath stepped aboard. He was some kind of monster skeleton. He still had rotten flesh on his bones with a long gray and black beard and really spooky eyeballs. He towered over the other skeletons in his blood-red coat and boots. He wielded 2 machetes like a maniac and began chopping at the crew. "This can't be happening! This can't be happening!" whimpered the first mate, slurred as he shook in fear. Captain Bloodbath was walking right toward him. Bloodbath grabbed Slurred by the throat, then chokeslammed him through the goddamn boat. Yeah, this killed him. The ghosts marked out.
Oh, God. He dropped the machetes and opted for a choke
A
slam.
choke slam.
Oof.
These guys were awesome at murdering people, probably because they only get to do it once a year, and they spend most of their time sitting at the bottom of the sea just thinking about all the crazy moves they'll pull next October 31st.
October 31st.
And also, this was the first year, so you gotta make a good impression.
Oh, you gotta go all out of the first year.
A ghost was holding a skeleton by its feet and soared over the ship. The skeleton had 2 rust-covered swords in his bony hands. The ghost put a little English on the skeleton as he dropped him down to the daddy wagon's crew, spinning like a fan of death.
Oh.
Skeletons were clotheslining orcs right off the goddamn boat. Ghosts were scaring the living ghosts out of people and up to heaven. It was horrible.
At least they went to heaven. Bye, guys. Good luck.
Glad that's over. But you're right. It was hurricane night.
Oh, no!
And Hurricane Skip was back for blood, and he got cut over the summer. The storm began to tear apart the daddy wagon. Bloodbath laughing continued as the crew's skeleton and ghosts were ripped from the deck. Ulag was screwed. He knew a bolt of lightning or a fish-shaped piece of hail was going to hit him any second, when suddenly a good gust of wind blew in,
There he is.
lifting Ulag up into one of the dinghies and blowing him safely away from the ship. The wind was cozy, and Ulag fell right to sleep. The orc felt the morning sun against his cheek and began to stir. He squinted as he shielded his eyes right before lifting himself up. He turned away from the sun and slowly adjusted his eyes. Just a few miles away before him stood a huge rock formation. Upon it sat the exploded remains of the Eliminator, with the bodies of Bloodbath and his men decorating the rocks and floating amongst the wreckage. It was like Pirates of the Caribbean, but 10 times scarier and 100% real. Ulag was confused. The bodies were fresh. Blood was still seeping into the sea and dripping down from the rocks. Ghosts began to appear over the bodies. They stared back at the orc. Then the Daddy Wagon's crew appeared next to them, like in Return of the Jedi. Oh. But an evil one.
Oh, no!
I guess I should have emphasized that it was Hurricane Night in my story. I guess that's a legitimate thing to be aware of, thought Ulag. But the ghost ship did show up, and so I don't feel so bad. Then the orc grabbed the oars and paddled the hell out of there.
Wow.
The end.
Oh, my God.
So, ghost stories are important, but hurricanes will kill you.
You know, oh, God. Dom, that story was so good. I love a good sea ghost story. I love ghost ships. I love ghost pirates.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that in Orcspire, the sea and the supernatural all must obey rules about when they can do things.
Oh, yeah, no, you can't just show up whenever you want.
Nope, gotta wait, guys. Not tonight,
I'm just going to say this right now. If you work on a boat and it's Halloween and you have work, call in sick. Okay?
Yeah, don't.
Even if you're on the boat, don't go up on the deck.
You know what's the best sea ghost movie ever?
What?
The Fog.
You know what's funny? I wrote this story to the Fog soundtrack.
Whoa!
Because I was like, you know what? I haven't seen The Fog. I really want to see it.
You haven't?
Yeah, I love John Carpenter and all his films, except for the ones I haven't seen, like The Fog. But I really want to see it, and I started listening to the soundtrack recently, just while I've been working. And I wanted to do a ghost ship story, because I know that's about ghost ships, kind of. Yeah, turn this out.
And now that crew, they've become part of the story.
Yeah, like pirates, man. I did some research on some pirates.
Okay.
When they would take over a ship, they would be like, hey, you can join our crew, because it was way better to be a pirate, to have more pirates around you,
Yeah.
So they joined them. Some of them went up to heaven. Some of them didn't go.
Oh, that's good, because they were just good pirates to begin with?
Or what they thought was heaven.
Oh.
Gonna leave that up to you.
But it was actually pirate heaven. It's
pirate heaven.
It's just a little bit below regular heaven.
It's not as good, but there's grog. Tim, I gotta say, man, thanks for taking us by the Gnarly Goblin. I feel like I had a great time.
Yeah, and you felt safe for the most part. Good. That was my whole goal. That was my goal, was for us to feel safe.
Yeah, I felt safe. You know why? This place is decorated for Halloween. It's pretty nice in here.
It always looks like this.
Wait.
These aren't Halloween decorations.
Oh.
There is no
Is that
Halloween
a real skeleton?
That's a real skeleton.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. That's always there. At Christmas, they put a hat on it.
That's weird. What kind of hat? Is it like a Christmas hat?
No, it's actually there's this guy named Chris, and it's a holiday for him.
Oh, what kind of hat does he wear?
It's just a ball cap.
Oh, okay.
It's a ball cap. It's from his favorite team.
The socks.
No, it's a
it's
a Nugstown Nugs hat.
Nugstown Nugs. I love it. I had a great time at the Gnarly Goblin.
Thank you. You got plenty of goat wine.
I had a lot of goat wine.
Yeah,
and which is the official drink
the official drink of Stone's Realm.
Of Stone's Realm.
Yeah. Do you know how goat wine's made? Would you like to know how?
I would love to know.
So it's just like regular wine, except that it's made from these really sour berries.
Okay.
And goats actually make it. Like goats work. They open their own businesses. They have goat wine breweries that are only worked by goats.
Oh, that's very
sort
nice.
of was started kind of like Homeboy Industries here in Los Angeles for a lot of out of work goats. They're like, let's make goat wine, and it took off.
That's great.
Yeah,
I love hearing stories like that.
It's inspirational.
It's a lot better than what I thought it was.
Okay.
Where it was like people just walk on the bodies of dead goats until it turns into some kind of liquid.
That's what it used to be.
You know what? I'm glad times has changed.
The recipe changed.
Yeah.
The recipe's different now.
So Swordborn is our hero here with his mount.
Yes.
His companion, Ice Bitch, the polar bear.
Yes.
Now next time we visit Stone's Realm, we're probably going to hear another story about Swordborn, right?
Yeah, that's sort
It's
of
basically the adventures of.
it's his adventure, yeah, wherever that ends up leading him as he travels across Stone's Realm. I really like writing installments just about one character who has to deal with sort of like writing a saga of this just one person.
Oh yeah, you get to stop by any point in their travels.
Yeah. Go
Especially-
way into the future, maybe if I want to. Like I could visit Old Man Swordborn at some point.
An old lady Ice Bitch.
Yeah.
I like that.
If they make it,
Yeah,
you never know what's
ooh.
going to happen, man.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to stick around for when you return.
Yeah, see you in a year.
Are we gonna pay once every Halloween?
Halloween, I emerge from my pumpkin patch.
You know what I was thinking about recently is that Halloween stores are kind of like they're kind of their own haunt, right? Because
Did you
they
say Halloween stores?
stores,
Yeah.
yeah, because they haunt like old Kohl's, you know,
It's
and
true.
like
It's true. They are like ghosts in a way.
and they show up and they have a smell and they're there for a little bit and they send out their coupons, you know, come and get your
Yep.
stuff, you know.
They almost show up without warning.
Yeah.
Overnight.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they're gone.
They're gone. Did you notice this year there haven't been as many?
As many Halloween stores?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess, right? With people. I think Halloween has had like a real boom recently
Yeah.
because us kids who grew up loving Halloween are now adults and
Yeah.
we make everyone love Halloween. So I imagine that people have like a good stock. Like every person has like probably 3 costumes in their closet, right? At this point.
That's true. It really got like crazy out of control, like where Halloween was like the most popular holiday of all the holidays.
Oh yeah, it's bumping. Like I feel like every year the internet is more and more excited about it.
Yep. But then there has to come a point when you're like, well, I've got all the Halloween shit that I need. I don't need to go to a Halloween store. I've got 36 styrofoam tombstones in my garage.
Yeah.
6 costumes, one of which is Austin Powers. I don't need to go back.
I'm real happy that's over, man.
Austin Powers, it's funny you would say that because just as I said it, I was thinking to myself, if I saw somebody this year at a party dressed as Austin Powers, I would be like, you did it.
You did a good job.
Yeah, like that's so stupid. It's good.
Well, like Austin Powers happened, and then for the next decade, people still did it. They still dressed up as Austin Powers, and then it finally went away.
Yeah.
Hey guys, bring it. You know what? Bring it back.
Let's bring it. Not you though, Mike Myers. You don't bring Austin Powers back for real. People, just bring back the costume.
We're gonna go ahead and give that the official Austin Powers "Yeah, baby" of approval.
Who would have thought? Who would have guessed in a million years that the Halloween episode would somehow include a reference to Austin Powers?
I couldn't have guessed it, but I'm happy it did happen. Tim, if someone was going to dress up as Swordborn, how do they do that?
You know the best approximation of what Swordborn looks like, at least in my mind's eye, of what this character looks like is kind of like the Beastmaster. Like,
Oh, nice.
yeah, you're sort of talking like a barbarian style look a little bit, shirtless all the time because you gotta be shirtless if
When
you're
you
gonna
look
fucking-
that good, yeah.
you got. If you're gonna riding a polar bear with a shirt on, come on,
That's
you
like
kidding me?
That's like swimming in the pool with a shirt.
Take off your shirt when you're on your polar bear. I'm talking to you, Tommy, my neighbor.
Freaking, I hear stories about Tommy all the time, man.
Tommy, take off your
total.
shirt when you're riding your polar bear.
Total Tommy move.
And then the most important parts, I think, of a Swordborn the Savage costume is definitely having get fucked is the most important.
His sword get
The
fucked.
sword with the spirit stones.
How many
embedded.
stones?
There's 5 spirit stones.
Are they different colors?
Yeah.
What are the colors? Do you know offhand?
Blue, yellow, pink, red, and green.
And what would you say the green stone embodies?
Oh, wow. I think the green stone.
You know what? I'm going to stop you because we'll have to learn about that probably, right?
Well, yeah, whenever there's definitely going to be an episode There's definitely going to be a story in the future where you find out about the Spirit Stones, about their powers and what they can do. Because Swordborn has not, aside from them turning him into Swordborn, the Savage, they have not played that large a role, except that he's run into people that are trying to get them from him. So at some point, he's going to have to learn how to utilize them. He sort of utilized the power of the sword and the stones in this episode to reveal the magic that was at play.
I love some unveiling magic. Good scene. He used his sword to do it, and great device. Love it.
And a sword with magical powers built into it is also a really cool thing, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just a great sword, it's a sword that can do things.
Mm-hmm. So someone wants to dress up as Swordborn, no shirt.
Shirtless.
Got to have a sword with some stones in it.
Yep.
You heard him.
I mean,
5 of them.
Don't go out of your way to, if you want to go out there and you want to wear some cut-off jean shorts and gym shoes, but just get a sword and run around your neighborhood shirtless, you did it. You did it.
You are Swordborn.
Yeah.
And for Ice Bitch, if you have one of those old Coca-Cola bears, take the Coca-Cola out of their little paws and put that on your shoulder.
Rub a little fake blood on the muzzle, and that's it. That's all you need.
Hot box it maybe. Get it stinking right.
Your Coca-Cola bear costume.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have only a couple days to do it, so get started. We'll let you get started. And Tim, thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you for having me, man. Absolutely. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, we had a great time. If people want to hear more about Stone's Realm, they can listen to Fantasy Fiction episodes 34 and 65. And guys, if you live in Los Angeles or the surrounding area, get your butt to a Lusty Horde show.
Come see the Lusty Horde.
You can follow them on Twitter at Lusty Horde. And if you search Facebook for Lusty Horde, or you just Google it, you might just find it all, baby. So just do it. Thanks again for being on, Tim. Thank you all for listening. Tim, how do people say goodbye to each other here at the Gnarly Goblin?
They say, be safe and war well.
Whoa!
And then they go,
that is elaborate.
Yeah, it is a super elaborate goodbye, but you know you have to because you don't know if you're going to ever see people again.
Yeah, and you want a guitar solo in your goodbye. Well, folks, war well. We'll see you next time. Have a good Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Be safe, guys. Don't drink and drive. Goodbye, everybody.